Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel which name is Analytics Pro, and here under this Power BI with SQL playlist we are going to cover only SQL concepts from scratch. So in the last tutorial guys we have completed one exercise that how we can deal with null values in SQL as well as in Power BI, and now in today's tutorial guys we will learn some other concept of SQL. So our today's class topics are primary keys and foreign keys. This concept we have already covered in the third tutorial of this playlist when we have studied about constraints. And the next topic of our today's class is cascading referential integrity, or we can say that cascading foreign key in SQL. So let's begin our class. So guys, let's firstly understand what is primary key. Primary key on a column ensures that the values are not null and not duplicate. It should be unique and no null values are allowed. That is known as primary key. And if we understand this primary key concept with example, so if we talk about any organizational data, so there is a column which name is employee ID, and it's not like that guys, there is an employee in a company who does not have the employee ID. It's not possible, and this employee ID is always be a unique. So in a similar way guys, if you talk about any student data, so there is a primary key of roll number, or you can say enrollment number, because there might be chance guys we have a different people with same names, but there is no chance guys the roll numbers are same for the different people. So in this way every data has a primary key. And now let me show you one table. So here is our customer table, and if you talk about this customer ID guys, we can see we have all the values are unique. So this customer ID is a primary key here under this customer table. And before understand this foreign key guys, let's understand what is foreign key. So foreign key is a concept of referential integrity. That means there should be some relation in both the tables. Foreign key is an attribute or set of attributes that reference to the primary key of same table or another table. For example, if we have two tables, then one table is taking reference from another table, so that reference should be a proper. And if we guys see these columns like names, country, age and city, these columns are foreign keys here. That means here values are repeating. And now you guys are good understanding about this primary key and foreign key concept. And now let's move towards our next topic, which name is cascading referential integrity, or we can say that cascading foreign key in SQL. So the question is, what is referential integrity? So let's understand this referential integrity with example. So guys, before moving to this topic, I would like to highlight one thing about foreign key. So whenever we apply foreign key in any of the column, then certain actions or by default actions are performed. So that action we will also discuss here under this tutorial, and we can also change the behavior of those actions accordingly. I know guys, this time you guys are little bit confusing, but once we complete this tutorial, so I guarantee your all doubts will be clear. So guys, go back to our customer table. So this is our customer table guys. So here under this table we have customer ID column, names, country, age and city. And this customer ID is a primary key because all the values are unique and there is no null. And now look at one more table. So here we have order table, and here under this order table guys, here order ID as a primary key because no values are repeating and no null. And other columns are foreign keys like products, quantity, price and customer ID. And one thing guys which we need to highlight, this customer ID is common in both the table. And if I go to the customer table again, and if I talk about this first customer ID which is 100, which name is Shubham. So let's check this out, this customer ID is also there in the order table or not. So let's go to the order table. So guys, here under this order table, here is no record of 100 customer ID. That means this customer Shubham has not ordered any product. You guys can clearly see it here. And now let's check another record in the customer table. And now let's talk about this next record which is 200, which name is Akshay. And now let's check this again. This customer Akshay has ordered anything in the order table or not. So let's move towards the order table. So here we guys can see this customer ID 200 is ordered pencil, as well as we can also see they have also ordered copies. So that means these tables are relatable because some information in customer table and some other information of customer table are in order table. And if I talk about the next record which is 300 customer ID, so this customer has also ordered pen as well as eraser. And if I go back to the customer table, so if I talk about this customer ID 300, so here Kevin has ordered pen as well as pencil in the order table. So guys, now the question is, if I delete or update any customer ID from the customer table, so what will happen with those orders if customer ID is deleted or updated from this primary table. So this concept is known as referential integrity. As we already studied in the foreign key definition, foreign key is a concept of referential integrity. That means there should be some relationship between both the tables. And if you delete or update anything in the primary table, which is customer table in our case, so basically we are violating the referential integrity. And now let's understand this thing in SSMS with practical. So let's go toward SSMS screen. So now we guys have entered in SSMS screen. And here guys, I will also create same customer and order table here. So I have already created a script. So let me copy that script and paste it here. So here you guys can clearly understand we have created a customer table where we have taken some columns name like customer ID, names, age, city. And now I will also enter some values under it. So I have already copied that script. And now I will paste it here. So here we can clearly see we have inserted some values. And those who have watched my first tutorial of this playlist, these guys can easily understand this script, that how we can create a table and we can insert the values under it. So let me select all the queries from here and hit execute button. So see guys, multiple rows are affected. And now let me open this table which name is customer. So here I will use select command to open my table. So I will simply write select star from table name which is customers. And now I will select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can see the same customer table which we have seen in the PPT. In a similar way guys, I will add one more table which name is orders. So I have already copied that script of order table and here I will paste my query. So this is the query guys to create order table. And if you observe one thing here guys, this customer ID constraint is foreign key reference from this customers table. That means this customer ID is relatable to customer table. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, command completed successfully. That means we have created our order table, but we have not inserted any value here. So for inserting the values guys, we have to use insert into command. So that query I have already copied. So now let me press enter again. And now I will paste my query here. So these are the values guys. So let me select all the values from here and hit execute. So see guys, lot of rows are affected. And now let me open this table. So I am going here into the new query and I will open both the table here under this new query. So firstly I will open customer table, select star from customers. And now I will open order table, select star from orders. And see guys, so we have uploaded both the table here in SSMS. And if you want to execute both the queries together, so you guys can also do that. So see guys, this is our customer table and this is our order table. And now guys, let's perform some operation under customer table, which is our primary table in our case. So let's suppose guys, I want to delete this customer ID as 200, which name is Akshay. And Akshay has already ordered pencil as well as copies. So let me perform this delete operation. So I will simply write my delete query, delete from our table name, which is customers. And now I will use where clause to delete customer ID 200. So I will simply write where, and now I will write my column name which is customer ID equal to 200 and select this query and hit execute. So see guys, we are getting an error. The delete statement conflicted with this reference constraint foreign key order customer ID. So guys, we have clearly seen this error. We cannot delete if we have this referential table because of foreign key constraint, and this is a by default behavior of foreign key. And now let me again open this customer table, and this time guys I will perform update operation here. So instead of 200 guys, let's suppose I want to update customer ID as 1000, and now I will use update query here. So let's try to update this customer ID from 200 to 1000. So I will simply write update our table name which is customers, and now I will use set keyword, and here under this set keyword guys we have to write our new values. So firstly I will write my column name which is customer ID equal to, let's say, 1000 because I want to replace 200 with 1000, and now hit enter. And now guys I will use where clause where customer ID is equal to 200, and now let me try to execute this command. So see guys, it is again getting me the same error. This update statement conflicted with this reference constraint. So we guys have clearly seen in both the cases it clearly throws an error. We cannot update or delete if we have referential table, and this is a default behavior of foreign key which we have already discussed. However, we can also change the behavior with certain actions, which I said initially in the video. We can change the behavior with the action, and there are 4 types of action which we can perform in referential integrity. So this behavior of referential integrity called no action. So let's go to the PPT to understand this behavior. So this is the by default behavior, guys. If you try to delete or update anything with the referential table, it will throw this an error. And this by default behavior called as no action. You have seen the same error message in the SSMS when we try to delete or update anything with the primary table. And now let's talk about the next behavior. So the next behavior is Cascade. And now let's understand the definition first. Then we will go to the practical. If a user tries to delete this statement, which will affect the row in the foreign key table, and then those row will be deleted when the primary key record is deleted. And similarly, guys, if we use any update statement, it also affects the row in the foreign key table. Then those rows will be updated with the value from the primary key record after it has been updated. And now let's understand this cascade behavior with practical. So let's go to the SSMS screen. So before understand this cascade concept, let me try to delete order table. So here I will use drop command. Drop our table name, then I'll use table keyword and our table name, which is orders. And now let me try to execute this query. So see guys, our order table has deleted from here. In a similar way, I'm also going to delete customer table. So here I will use the same query. Drop table, our table name is customers, and I will execute this query. So see guys, both the table are deleted from our database. And now let's go back to the previous query where we have created both the table. So let's move towards the order table query. So this is our order table query, guys. And now we have to add some keywords here at the end of this query. So here I will write on, and here I will give some permission to Cascade. So I will simply write delete Cascade. In a similar way, I will give the permission on update command. So I will simply write on keyword, my command name, which is update, and simply write Cascade keyword and bracket close. So here we guys can see it is getting us an error because we have not removed this bracket from here. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can see it's getting us an error. So guys, let's understand this error first. Foreign key order reference invalid table customers. That means we have also deleted the customer table. That's why they are not found the customer table in our database. So what we need to do, guys, firstly we need to create a customer table. And if I scroll up, guys, so with the help of this query, I can create my customer table. So let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, multiple rows are again affected. And now let's try to execute this query. So let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, now it's not getting any error. Command completed successfully. Earlier guys, it was not getting any reference table, which was customer table. And now let me insert some values. So I will simply select all the insert query and hit execute. And quickly open both the table here with select command. Select star from customers. Similar way, select star from orders. And let me try to open both the table together. And now let me select both the query and hit execute. So again we can see the same table, and we have already made some changes in our query with on delete cascade or on update cascade in order table. And now let's try to perform both the operation in primary table, which is customer table. So firstly guys, let me start with this update command. So this time guys, instead of 200, I want to update this customer ID with 1000. So I will simply write update our table name, which is customers, and here I will use set keyword, and under set keyword I will use customer ID as a column, and I want to replace 200 customer ID with 1000. So here I will write new value, which is 1000. And finally guys, I will use where clause where customer ID is equal to 200. And now let me try to execute this query and let's see what happened. So see guys, one row is affected. So let me delete this query and try to open both the table again. So see guys, where we have the 200 customer ID, it replaced with 1000. And if you observe it here guys, 200 is also replaced with 1000, and it was not getting any error because we have used cascade under our query. And now let's also try with this delete operation. So suppose guys, I want to delete this customer ID, which is 1000. So I will simply write my delete query, delete from our table name, which is customers. And now I will use where clause where customer ID is equal to 1000. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, one row is still affected. And now let me delete this query and open both the table again. So see guys, there is no 1000 record in the customer table as well as in the order table. So basically guys, if we perform any delete or update operation in the customer table and try to delete or update customer ID from customer table, then same will be deleted or updated from the reference table, which is order table in our case, and it will not throw any error of violation. So this concept is known as Cascade referential integrity. We can also change the behavior of referential integrity. So in a similar way guys, we have two more behaviors which we can change the action. So the next behavior or action of referential integrity is set null. So if a user tries to delete or update statement that will affect rows in the foreign key table, then those value will be set to null when the primary key record is deleted or updated in the primary key table. The most important thing that we need to keep in mind that the foreign key column effect must allow null values. So let's understand how we can change the behavior to set as null. So let's again go to the SSMS screen and understand the third behavior of this referential integrity, that how we can set null in our table. So firstly guys, let me delete this order table from here. So I will simply use drop command to delete this table. Drop table orders and hit execute. So see guys, the table has deleted. And now let's move towards the query of this order table. So earlier guys, we have used this cascade behavior in our table, and this time guys we will use set null behavior. So I will remove this cascade from here, and instead of cascade guys, I will simply write set null. And similar way I will also update same on update command. So instead of cascade guys, I will simply write set null. And now let me try to execute this query. So see guys, our order table is created, and now let me insert some values under this order table. So I will select these queries and hit execute, and let's open both the tables. So here is the queries guys to open the tables, and now we guys can see the same tables here, but this time guys we have changed the behavior of this order table. Now we have set null keyword here, and now guys firstly we will apply delete operation here. So I want to delete this customer ID 200. So I will simply write my query delete from table name which is customers, where customer ID is equal to 200. And now let me execute this query. So let me select this and hit execute. So see guys, one row is affected. And now let me delete this query and try to open both the table together. So see guys, this customer ID 200 has ordered pencil as well as copies, and now it is deleted in our table. So it returning value as null because we have changed the behavior of referential integrity. So if any value is in the primary table and the same value has any connection with the referential table, so it return as null if you delete anything in the primary table. And now let's try one more operation with update command. So I want to replace this 300 with let's say 800, and here under this order table 300 has ordered eraser as well as pen. So let's try to update this 300 with 800. So I will simply use update query here, update our table name which is customers. I will use set keyword here and customer ID as let's say 800, which is our new customer ID, where customer ID is equal to 300. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, one row is affected. And now guys, let me try to open both the table. So see guys, once you update any value, it is again getting us null value in the secondary table which is order table. So if you change the behavior of this order table with this null constraint, so it returns as null. And now let's understand the last behavior of this referential integrity, which name is by default. So this by default constraint means if you perform any delete or update statement, it affects rows in a foreign key table, that is our order table in our case, then all rows containing those foreign key are set to the default value which you have set in the primary table, and all the foreign key column in the related table must have default constraint defined on them. And there is a one thing guys which we need to keep in mind, default value row should also be there in the primary table, which is customer table in our case. So what can I do guys? Before using this set default constraint, I need to enter any default value constraint. So let's try to understand this set default behavior with practical. So let's go to the SSMS screen. So firstly I will delete this customer table. So I will simply use drop table customers and hit execute. So here we guys can see it is getting us an error. Could not drop a customer table because it is referenced by a foreign key constraint. So we have to delete first order table, drop table orders and hit execute. So we have also learned one more thing guys. You cannot delete primary table first. You have to delete a foreign table first, which is orders in our case. And now I can delete this customer table. See guys, command completed successfully. So guys, what I can do, firstly I will go with this customer table query, and let me insert one default value here. So I will select this query and paste it here. And here I am changing some values. So customer ID would be, let's say, 1500, and the name would be, let's say, Virat, and the location would be, let's say, Mumbai. So firstly guys, I will select all the queries of customer table and hit execute. And now I will also change the constraint under this order table. So instead of set null guys, this time I will use set default keyword. So I'm removing this null from here and simply write default. And similar way, I will remove this null from here for the update command and I will write default constraint. And now I will select this query and hit execute. So let me delete this query in between and open both the table together. So again I can see both the tables here, and we have also added one more record which is 1500, which name is Virat. So guys, now the question is, this 1500 has not ordered anything here under this order table. So if I delete this Virat record, so how we can it reflect 1500 here under this order table? So under this order table guys, we have to set default value as 1500. So guys, we have to follow one more step. For this customer ID column, we have to apply default constraint. And how we can apply default constraint? So with the help of alter command, we can apply default constraint. So I will simply use alter table here, and our table name is orders. And now I will use add keyword, add default, and here we can set any default value here. But one thing you need to keep in mind, that default value should also be there in the primary table, which is customer table. So here I am setting default value as 1500. That's why I have added this 7th record, and now I will enter 1500 here as a default value. And now I will write for keyword, and finally I will take this customer ID column name from this order table, and let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, command completed successfully. So guys, let me open both the table together. And now guys, if I delete this 200 record, which is also here under this order table. So if I try to delete this guys, so instead of 200, this 1500 record will be added instead of 200. And now let's try with this delete operation. So I will simply write delete from table name, which is customers, where customer ID is equal to 200. And now let me select this command and hit execute. So see guys, one row affected. And now let me delete this query and select both the query and hit execute. So here we guys can clearly see this 200 is replaced with 1500 because we have set default value as 1500. So whenever you perform any default constraint, so you have to keep in mind two things. The first one is that value should be in the primary table which you want to set as default, and the second thing, we have to also use this alter command and set default value for this same column name, which is customer ID. So these two steps you need to perform while setting this set default behavior. And now let's try this with update command. So let's suppose guys, I want to update this 300 with 2000, and this 300 is here in this customer ID. And now let's check it out. So I will simply write update query here, update, our table name is customers, and now I will use set keyword, customer ID is equal to 2000, which is our new ID, where customer ID is equal to 300. And now let me select this query and hit execute. And now let me delete this query and open both the table together. So see guys, here under this order table, this 300 replaced with this 1500. So I hope guys this tutorial is really useful for you to understand the behavior of referential integrity. And now let's understand one more point. So you cannot add on delete Cascade to an already existing constraint. You will have to drop and recreate that constraint. And the documentation shows that the modify constraint clause can only modify the state of constraint that is enabled or disabled. So the thing is that guys, if you are using any modify constraint, you can enable your constraint, and if you use disable keyword, you guys can also disable your constraint. And guys, you don't need to delete your table again and again. If you guys have watched my alter constraint video, so you can also use alter command and change the constraint. So I hope you guys are clear with this concept. So for such kind of detailed learning of SQL as well as Power BI, stay connected with us and kindly support this channel. And if someone wants to learn Power BI from scratch, so you guys can also follow this free YouTube channel, which name is Analytics Pro. And if you click here on this playlist button guys, you guys will see multiple playlists are here. We have Power BI full course playlist, DAX expression, updates, visualization, advanced concept of Power BI, And with the help of this Power BI with SQL playlist, we are also going to cover each and every concept of SQL in detail. So step by step, you guys can follow all these playlists to take deep understanding about Power BI as well as SQL. And those who are visit first time on this channel, kindly hit the like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to press this bell icon guys, else you will miss an update. And for the job seekers guys, we have this free Telegram group where I'm keep posting latest Power BI jobs opening, as well as you will also find some latest interview question and answers. So you don't need to pay anything to anyone for jobs and trainings. But those who thinks they require only live trainings guys, and they are not much interested to learn all these things from the videos because they are facing some difficulties to understand these concepts from videos due to some difference of background. So for those guys, we also conduct paid training sessions where I personally prepare candidates from scratch till intermediate level. And we also provide right roadmap and guidance to get Power BI jobs. And we also provide some real-time projects and scenarios so that they guys can feel more confident with hands-on experience and also assist them to get them placed. So for paid training support or any other support, you guys can connect me on LinkedIn or Telegram channel. All the links are given under the description box. You guys can follow us there. We also have this Insta account, so you guys can also follow us on Instagram. So thank you so much guys for your more love and support. Keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much.